Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Clay, and I'm the Bucks believer. Today, the Bucks MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo led them to a 127-109 victory over the Portland Trailblazers, in which the Greek Freak was dominant. He put up 47 points and grabbed 12 rebounds in this win for the Bucks. He also didn't miss a single shot from inside the arc, as he went 18 for 18 on two-pointers, while also making 11 of his 13 free throws in this game. Robert Covington has earned the reputation as one of the best defensive players in the NBA over the past couple seasons, and that is for good reason. He does a great job as a team defender, where he can use his length and defensive IQ to keep himself in great position, pick up a lot of deflections, and contest shots from the weak side, where he's a really solid shot blocker. But where Covington isn't quite on the same level as some of the best defenders in the league is as an on-the-ball defender, where he just doesn't quite have the level of strength and quickness necessary to lock up the best players in the NBA night in and night out. And that was evident in this game, where Giannis was able to exploit that matchup time and time again. Even once the Blazers started to try to throw a second defender at him, that defender was usually a smaller guard like Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Anthony Simons, or the newly acquired Norman Powell. And those guys just weren't able to disturb Giannis enough to throw him off his rhythm. And Antetokounmpo was able to make it to the rim, where he was able to finish easily time and time again in this game. Giannis also got into a role from the mid-range, where he was knocking down shots from the elbows, and that is a really important shot for Giannis as he continues to work on his game, defeating the wall defense that teams try to throw at him in the playoffs, like the Miami Heat and Toronto Raptors have done in the past two seasons. Giannis was great in this game. He has been an MVP level player for the past 3 years, and as Bucks fans, I think that we need to appreciate him a little bit more than we do at times, because he is just so fun to watch. He's such a fantastic person. He has such an electric personality, and it's not all the time that you have a franchise player like Antetokounmpo wearing a Milwaukee Bucks jersey. So I just want to say that I'm so thankful to have Giannis as a Buck, and I hope that he's here to stay, and it does appear that he is, considering he signed the Supermax this past offseason. I love Giannis. He's my favorite NBA player of all time, and I look forward to watching him over the next 5 or 6 years, whatever it is. And I think that I've said enough about Giannis, so let's move on and talk about what was a battle of two of the elite players at the point guard position in today's NBA. Damian Lillard did get the better of Jrue Holiday in the scoring department, as Lillard had 32 points on 10 for 19 shooting, 5 for 10 from the three-point line, and 7 for 10 from the free throw line, while Holiday had 22 points on 9 for 14 shooting. So Lillard outscored Holiday by 10 points in this game. But I still don't think that Lillard necessarily won the point guard position battle for the Trailblazers, as Holiday dished out 10 assists to Lillard's just 5 and made an overall bigger impact on the game, in my personal opinion. Holiday did a great job on Lillard as he forced Dame to take difficult shot after difficult shot. And while Lillard was able to make a lot of those shots in the first half, in the second half Dame wasn't able to make as big of an impact because he was simply getting tired out from trying to get the better of Jrue Holiday possession after possession. Jrue forced Lillard to take difficult three-pointer off the dribble with a hand in his face time and time again. And that just isn't going to be a recipe for success, because those shots are very, very difficult to make. And while Lillard is certainly capable of it, they're not going to go in every single time. And Holiday was able to generate some really easy shots for the Bucks on the offensive end of the court. He took what the defense gave him, and for large periods of today's game, that was a matchup against Damian Lillard. Holiday has a distinct size and strength advantage on Lillard, and he was able to take him into the post, back him down, and generate really easy looks at the basket on a lot of different possessions in today's game. Holiday is a difference maker for the Bucks. He's a significant upgrade over what Eric Bledsoe has brought to the team over the past 2 seasons. And I think that come playoff time, we're going to see that Holiday is going to make the world of a difference in the playoffs. So I'm also happy to have Drew Holiday, and similar to Giannis, I think that it's important that we appreciate the great players that are wearing these jerseys for the team right now. Speaking of great players wearing these jerseys, Chris Middleton was pretty solid in this game too for the Bucks. He's been, I guess, the third fiddle for a large period of time here following the All-Star break where Holiday has broken out. But Chris is still a really good player who is still able to score 20 points on 8 for 13 shooting, while also grabbing 7 rebounds and dishing out 8 assists, while it being a quiet night somehow compared to what his other 2 star teammates were able to do. But Middleton did a really nice job of hitting some difficult off-the-dribble threes in this game, which is what his game is for sure, but it's still astounding to see him knock down all those difficult shots. We saw the Bucks run some more curl plays for him once again, where he's running to the basket to get some easy looks at the rim, and I think that that's a definite positive because the gravity that Middleton has at the three-point line is going to allow those cuts going to the rim to be wide open to generate some really easy shots. So I do like to see that off-the-ball movement continuing to have an uptick for Middleton, and I do hope to see that trend continue because I think that it can really help the Bucks out to have some more options for easy offense come playoff time. The thing with all 3 of those guys playing great at the same time, by those guys I mean Giannis, Drew, and Chris, is that it usually means that they absolutely had to have those kind of scoring nights. And in this game, that was true because outside of the top 3, there was a real lack of scoring. Carmelo Anthony might have been the 4th best player for the Bucks in this game, as Melo had 6 points on 2 for 12 shooting and just kept shooting, and they were not going in. But Carmelo was not going to stop shooting in this game, so for that reason, he might have been the 4th most positively impactful player for the Bucks. And while that is fun to jest about, it is a problem that none of the other players were able to step up their game. While it is true that the Bucks did sacrifice some of their depth in this past offseason by dealing away their 2 best options at the point guard position for just one guy, they thought that they were going to have players like Dante DiVincenzo and Bryn Forbes and Pat Connaughton be able to step up their scoring levels when they need to. And while I guess they didn't absolutely need to in this game because the Bucks did a great job defensively limiting to a Blazers team that is top 5 in offensive rating to just 109 points, they could have used some more scoring output from their 4th through 15th players on the bench in this game, and that just did not happen as no other Buck aside from the big 3 reached double figures. So while that isn't the biggest of negatives, it's something that's been a bit of a reoccurring thread over the past couple weeks, and it's something to keep your eye on because the Bucks are definitely going to need those guys to produce for them when the games start to really matter in the playoffs. Finally, I do want to touch on this being Jeff Teague's first outing as a member of the Milwaukee Bucks. He didn't have too big an impact on the result of the game, but he did make some positive plays for the Bucks that I certainly think provide a glimmer of what he could provide for this team moving forward. He had a garbage time drive to the basket where he made a solid finish over a shot blocker. That was his only bucket of the game, but I certainly do think that that is a good sign as he has really struggled to score inside the arc for the Celtics so far this year. He's shooting under 40%, so it's good to see him getting some easy looks at the rim. There was another time where he drove to the basket and found a big man on the opposing block for an easy finish, and he made a really nice defensive play where he showed a lot of hustle and making a solid block on a Norman Powell shot in the lane. So Teague was definitely more of a positive than a negative in his opening outing for the Bucks. He did have a pretty ugly turnover towards the end of the game, but outside of that, I liked what I saw from Jeff, and I look forward to seeing him get more and more time with the Bucks as the season continues because there is a hole on this team at the backup point guard position, and I hope that Teague will be able to fill said hole. Let me know what you thought of this game in the comments section down below. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, especially if you are a fellow Bucks believer. This is the place for you. I think that I've covered everything that I wanted to cover, so that's going to be it for me. Ladies and gentlemen, I will see you all again very soon.